Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And this episode is all about just the changes of the garden, what's happened, what's doing well, and what's not doing so well, and where we're at with the experiment from a couple weeks ago. Remember when I was doing the planting super early? I wanted to see which method would work best. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of check up on these things and see what's happened. We'll start off with the fence over here behind you guys in front of me, and we'll move our way back over there, and I'll show you why. I'll tell you why all of that. So I'll turn you around and we'll have a quick peek. All right, so this is the lettuce I planted. These are the seeds that I planted indoors, and I started them indoors and then I planted them out. I started these seeds in that to-go container, you know, that little white tray thing. So that's where these seeds started. I've got my romaine. Last night I did not have them covered. The temperature went down to as low as, I think, like +10. Tonight the temperature is supposed to go down to like -3, so I'm going to go ahead and cover them tonight. But we've got these guys, where's the tag here? Iceberg on this side, and then we've got the romaine on that side, and they're doing well. They're doing quite nice, actually. I've actually tasted a few of them already. They're not super big, but I mean, for a little snacky snack, you know, for some of the first snacks in the garden. Whoops, there we go. They're not too bad. There's a tree being cut down actually just down the street there, so you'll be hearing some of that noise. That is totally fine. I think you can probably still hear me. So I just took the wood off this first one. We're gonna have a little peek inside. I haven't opened these up more than maybe 4 times, so let's see what's in here. So this is the lettuce that I planted under here. So you can see that they've stunted just a bit. That's because the soil was still pretty cold when we planted the seeds. Remember, seeds need warmth to germinate. And so by this, as it looks so far, it looks like starting the seeds indoors was the better bet for the lettuce seeds for this year anyway. So I'm definitely going to be doing that more often if this trend continues with these 2 seeds here. We'll just take the wood off of these guys. I'm just going to try and walk pretty slowly here. Oh, I've got that. We'll talk about what's under there. We'll talk about what's under there and why that's going inside tonight, because I don't want to risk losing that. We'll just take this and put that off there. And then under here, let's see, we've got peas. Peas are growing. I forget what else we had planted under here. I think it's the beets. It looks like yellow. Yeah, it looks like the yellow and the red beets. And then the peas in the back. So we've got some little bitty baby peas. I'll show you the other peas that I started indoors, and then some of the beets. So the beets look like they've sprouted, or some of them have sprouted. Very sporadic. It gets pretty warm in under these because we get like highs of 20 and then a low of like 1. Like yesterday the high was 21, and then at night the low was like +1 or 0. So I'm telling you, she's bipolar or menopausal or something. Can I say those things? I don't even know if I can. However, something's going on. I'll peek under here, and we've got the radishes are growing, and I can't remember what I planted in the back. There's some green there, so I'm going to let that grow until I know what it is, and then I'll decide whether I want to keep it or not. But it looks like the radishes are growing. Well, a few of them anyway. So the germination rate is not the best at this point. This weekend I will be planting more radishes, and I think I'll plant them in that bed there. There is room in those beds as well. That one has lots of space, and I'll tell you why. We'll get there. Underneath this, I'll just tap it so we can kind of peek into there. I see 2 blades of grass growing. This is the dollar store thing. And I think what happened here was it just got too cold. So like on the hot part of the days, it would get quite warm. And then on the cold part of the days, like overnight, it would get way too cold. So it was really yo-yoing back and forth. And it was very difficult to kind of regulate the temperature in here. And I feel like that would be why we've got 2 whole blades of grass growing in here. So the dollar store one, not the best for a lazy gardener like myself. However, the beets that I started indoors, again, with these beets, I did the same thing as with the lettuce. Started them in a shallow tray, did not up-pot them, did not do anything. Started the seeds indoors in a shallow tray, and then when it got warm enough, transplanted them out here. And they're growing. Whether they'll end up being the best quality or not, we'll find out. However, I've got beet leaves, like the original leaves, and then the true leaves. It's not, oh, it's because of my hand. And then it's got, they've got, some of them have the second set of the true leaves coming in as well. I did not cover these last night, and it was as low as like, as cold as like +10. So that is what this is. I think I could speed up the growth of this if I covered it up like last night, or, you know, kept it a little bit warmer. Maybe if I put that over this for the nights, maybe that'll work. We'll see. We might just change the application of this, but it's not working for what it was designed to work for. I was trying to open it up when I saw that it was too hot, but it's just too much work. It's just too much work for that. So anyway, moving along here. Now this, if you'll remember, this was the Temu setup that I had with the big hoops. I'll insert a clip later on about what was going on during the storm. I like the idea of it. I like the idea of the hoops. However, I don't see the practicality in a high wind place like this. We have so many days where we have so much wind. And you'll see later on in the video what that looked like during the storm. I saw, towards the end of it, I saw little bits and parts of the hoops all over the yard. I'm still finding the little silver clips that clipped the pieces together. Some of the longer pieces were like literally, I found one right there. It was stabbed into the earth. That's how much force it had. It was like an inch into the earth right there. I had to like pull on it to get it out of there. So I'm like, maybe not the best. These are going somewhere in the yard. I'm not sure what Ryan's plan is for these. I think for the border here, actually, like right here, so that he can say, listen, this is your line. You stay on this side and the grass can stay on that side, maybe. Just because, you know, I'm constantly teasing him going, you know what, we should make a bigger garden. I'm so funny that way. But you can see green. I'll be unearthing this later this weekend when I do some more planting. You can see some peas are growing down where I planted the peas. I planted other things in here as well. All I'm seeing growing is the peas and the radishes. But the radishes, with the high winds, what happened was the seeds of the radishes, I'll come back over here and I'll explain this better. I bet you I can do this better if I'm just right here. Okay, so if you'll remember, I planted radishes from here all the way to about there. And the wind came from that direction, and there's no radishes growing here. And now all of the radishes are growing really close together right here. So the seeds migrated. The wind took the seeds as it was ripping the hoop house thing that I built, took the mulch that I had on top of there. I don't even know where it went. It went away with the wind. So I got fresh mulch on here again, watered the areas that I knew I had planted just in case some seeds remained, but it took like the top, like very close to like half an inch, maybe even close to an inch in some areas, took the dirt with it. It dried out the dirt right away, and I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have any of it. But I still wanted to try the frost fabric approach. So I've got the frost fabric that was on the hoop house. I've just taken the little hoops off and I've put the frost fabric down, and then I've weighted down with all of these bits of wood and things, just to make sure that it stays put. Over here, I thought I'd try some plastic. We've got 2 nights still that have frost. These peas were the peas that I started indoors. So you remember the peas that are over there in that one that I showed you just a minute ago. These ones are the ones that I started in a little cup indoors. So they're not looking the healthiest, but they're growing. They've got new growth on them since being planted out here. This one was maybe to here when I planted it out, and so all of this is new growth. This one as well. This one's got a little bit of new growth on it. This one snapped, but it snapped above these 2 leaves, so I'm hoping it'll grow from these 2 leaves. If not, meh, whatever. This is all just a trial. This is the plant that I pulled off. I like to do the chop and drop method. Take it off, let it drop, let it decompose, let it mulch in place, right? So that's that. And I did plant a bunch of stuff underneath this plastic. I did end up putting plastic down because I saw the wind was picking up, and I was like, no, this is not happening. This is before the hoop house thing. This was still when the winds were not that strong. Put the plastic down, and I planted in a few areas. Not sure if I've got that in a video. If I do, I'll put that. I'll also link that in the end of this one. And so I planted some things. I planted. Let's see if I remember what I planted. I didn't mark anything, so it's going to be a nice surprise. Zucchini here and there, and then I did some. These are peas, and then I planted some more peas in here in this area here, and then I planted. What did I plant in those corners? The broccolinis, the little spring broccolis. So one there, one there, one here, one there. I think I did 4 plants total, and then the 3 little bunches of peas, and then the zucchini is what I did there. So for tonight, what I'll be doing is I've got this cardboard box right here. I've been doing this for all of the nights so far that I've been seeing a frost warning. Put the cardboard box over top of the peas. These are holding it in place. You've seen that one in a previous video. And with the cardboard box sitting on top of there, the peas are protected enough to be able to withstand the frost. Tonight is Wednesday night, so tonight it's not supposed to freeze too much, but tomorrow night it's supposed to freeze quite a bit. So I'm going to take that, put it on top of there, and then I'm going to try and find some frost fabric or something else I can put on top of that just to give it that extra little layer, because it's supposed to be like -8 or something for like one night, and then it's supposed to be back up in like the really good temperatures where things are supposed to start growing. So I don't know, guys. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to grow stuff in this climate with all the winds and the temperatures going up and down and all that. There's got to be a way to do this. This is just let's try to do it with as little money invested as possible. So that's that. I've got dill under there. I don't want to disturb it right now, but I've got dill under there. And then I planted sunflowers along the back. We'll see how they do. I've just put that there. I've made sure it's in between where I've planted the sunflowers. They're quite spaced out, so that'll be okay, I think. And then yeah, that's kind of the update really on this from this garden here for now. I think the Temu, I like the frost fabric. It has really helped, I think. Every time I stuck my hand underneath the frost fabric, it was quite a bit warmer underneath than the air temperature above, so that was a good thing. I do like the frost fabric thing. Not a big fan of the hoops. We need something sturdier for the hoops, something that's not going to blow around and stab into the ground in the winds that we get here. So that would be my improvement that I would suggest here for this. Let's go and see what's in that box. I bet you you're wanting to know what's in that box. Let's go over there. Alrighty. I was just talking to the guy that's cutting down the tree. Nice guy. Really like him. So I'm just gonna, sorry, there's just a big white screen. So this is that box that I've got down in between these two beds, sheltered from the wind, sheltered from a lot of the craziness that is spring in this climate. I've got my tomatoes. They stayed outside last night. I don't want to keep them uncovered too long. I think I'm going to bring them in though for the really cold nights, just because. So what I've got here is sheets. It's really warm under there. Sheet, the one layer of sheet, and then 2 layers of that frost fabric from Temu. And I just kind of stuck my hand in there, and I'm like, holy, it's nice and toasty in there. But I think I'm going to take them in because I don't want to risk losing them. So I think that's going to be my number one thing for today. And then in the next hour, I'll be just covering everything because it's supposed to be starting to get really, really cold again. Literally like in the next, I think it's like hour and a half or 2 hours. So I think I should probably cover it now. Let the heat kind of stay inside, and then hopefully this will all make it through the night. They won't grow that much more because when it's cold, they don't like to grow too much. However, this is something more that I don't have to do May long, and I can relax and have a nice fire. Hopefully, if it doesn't snow this year, it'll probably be like one of the first years ever. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I'll show you the clips of what was happening. I just came out here. I didn't talk or anything because wind, like I was having a hard time even just standing upright. So put the clips on, and I will talk to you next week. I'll see you guys next week in the next episode. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week, but yeah, if you like this video, thumbs up, give us a like, any comments down in the comment area. Let me know what you think I should try, what you think might work for those hoops. If you have any ideas of what I can use for hoops, even like something that would just like raise it up just a little bit, because the peas and the radishes are actually touching the frost fabric, and I'm pretty sure it'd probably be better if they're not actually touching the fabric. So if you have any ideas on what I can do to raise that up and it not blow away. I mean, for lack of anything better to say about that. But yeah, so this one is still not planted. I've got nothing planted in there. I've just left this. And from here that way is still also not planted just yet. I'm going to do that this weekend also. So maybe that's what's going to be on the next video. So wait and see what I plant in these. Probably just more radishes and beets and cold climate stuff. But maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, I'll talk to you next weekend. See ya!